Thank you for that, Justin, and welcome everybody to today's webinar. And we're going to be covering what's new in the software. And today's agenda of topics will be covering enhancements to the CrossLink 1040 that will cover the desktop program as well as any form updates as well for both our online and desktop software. And then updates to the business package. We'll be introducing CrossLink Online Business. So for those of you that are using our online software, exciting news that if you also do corporate returns, you can now do both individual and corporate on our online software. So we'll talk about that. And then some new and exciting integrations with the software in general. Some exciting stuff that we have to go over. And then a bonus of a digital marketing kit that you can find in a portal. And I'll show you how to do that and what a marketing kit is that we put together for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started with enhancements to the 1040 program. So the first few enhancements have to do with the office setup. So really great to just note these items such as the database setup. We have two main new fields in there that can auto-populate on tax returns. And those fields are your paid preparers. So those are your PTIN holders. And if any one of them is an enrolled agent, we now have a field where you can actually list that number, that license number for you guys. So you don't have to enter it manually on the returns. You can now have that self-populate. And with the dynamic databases, your employers, EIN numbers, and payers, we can now add a phone number for that field. So before the database just used to capture the name of the corporation and the EIN number, but now we'll start capturing a cell phone related to that EIN number. And within our billing setup, we now have the exciting option to default a disbursement type for the taxpayer. So this is only for the bank applications, the RT tax returns, and you can now default for direct deposit, check, or the card to be the primary option auto selected on the return. So I want to go ahead and we're going to go into the software real quick and just cover those items. So we're looking at the brand new software, CrossLink 2025, the desktop software here. And it was released this week. So if you're ready to get it downloaded, go ahead and reach out to technical support or a sales team member and we'll get you set up right away. So with that, we were covering a few of these options within our database menu first. I covered the paid preparers. These are adding in your PTIN holders. So if you have the additional PTIN holders and they're also an enrolled agent, we now have this new field here that's called the license number. So you can go ahead and have that auto-populated to fill out on the tax return. And we also added within employers and payers, which the database will also automatically save this information when you're entering it on a tax return, right? So if you enter in a new EIN number for the first time this season, it's going to save it to this database here. So you can get a very lengthy database throughout your tax season. But what's new is this this phone number field. So you can see that we went ahead and added it here. So if you wanted to be proactive and go ahead and add a number in here, you can do so. Or when you enter it in for the tax return in the first time, it will automatically save as well. So go ahead and take note of that. And that's what you would do there. And I'll go ahead and minimize. And going forward with our office setup features, within the print options, right, we're always wanting to add additional things. So now we are allowing for the engagement letter to be printed. So that's been added to the client organizer as well. So I'll show you what that looks like within the print options. And client letters. We're always expanding our client letters every year to give more options for that. So this year, the newly added client letters are the state amended or state extension acknowledgement letters. So I will show you where you can find those as well. And that's going to be right here within the software to start off with the print menu. So any type of setup, office setup, billing, printing, you're always going to locate that in the setup menu. And I'm just going to go to printer setup, take on my 1040 return printing. You'll see the engagement letter there. And then when we're also within a tax return, click go here real quick. When you do go to the print menu, you're also going to see when you do want to print the client organizer. So the engagement letter will now also print within those client organizers. So definitely you could take advantage of those items there. And we covered the billing setup, right? With that default of the bank product disbursement options. So when you go into the billing setup, you're going to see this new option here, default bank disbursement options. You're going to see the option to choose what you would like to be defaulted. So now if you choose direct deposit, for example, that will simply always mark the X on the bank application for the bank you are working with that that taxpayer wants their refund via direct deposit. So again, if you do take advantage of it, I know it's been a big ask to be able to do. Just make sure if you're choosing direct deposit, we're filling out that direct deposit information on the return. So again, you can find this option within the billing setup. And for our client letters, again, within the setup menu, client letters, you're going to go ahead and see that we have the new federal and the state act amended and the state extension. And when you want to always see what's in those client letters, all you have to do is choose on a particular return. So the first one is like choosing what return you're doing. And then you'll see here, this is the actual letter, the letter of the body, what it says. If you did want to make a change to the wording, you can. But this is where you would tailor the client letters to whatever you would like. And I would just throw out the tip. Our client letters are always going to update with your office information. So never worry about that. We're always going to populate your office information that is from the office setup. Okay. So moving on from here, we now have some new features, and that is the ability on the lookup screen. So when we hit select a return, we now have a new column for the lock notification. So that's just going to show you, you can quickly filter that screen to show you the locked tax returns right away. So I'll display that in a moment. And then we also will have a new return status. So the return status of federal amended that has been acknowledged. You're going to see that status populate as well when your return reaches that status. So I can't show that one too much, but you'll be able to see here at select a return, we have this column all the way to the left here when I hit select a return. So let's go ahead and do that from the beginning. We hit select a return, where I hit go to load my two returns, and then you see lock all the way on the left-hand side. You see an N, meaning no, that these tax returns are not locked, right? I haven't done a signature, a print, or a transmit yet. So once I do that, that's what triggers a locked tax return. And you'll be able to go ahead and see that Y for yes if it's locked. And then you would easily be able to filter just by clicking on a row, whether you want to see the unlocked or the locked. So that's just a quick tip there for you. And then we have going on through here some extended reports. We're always tailoring our extended reports to have more options available because what's a really nice thing with our extended reports, these are custom reports that you're able to build to meet your business needs, right? So we have a huge array of different type of reports in the software, but we understand each and every one of you can run your business a little bit differently. And you may need a specific report for data that you need to see for your business. So within that, extended reports now have the option to show you the ETD Act code, which that is the Filing Amendment Act code. So whether it's accepted, rejected, pending, I'll show you that as well. And then a spouse home phone number. So I'll show you quickly how to see the extended reports, how to get into it, and what those fields will look like. And we also have the exciting taxpass mobile site URL. So the taxpass URL is historically, it's always in the portal for the desktop users. And that's where you would access that URL to give to your taxpayers. So that's really beneficial because that's how you can grow and promote your business in a very paperless, featured way, and just reach more clients throughout the country, basically. You can share your taxpass URL on your social media, maybe your website, marketing materials, and your taxpayers access that URL to basically start a tax return and submit it to the software. So now we are displaying this URL within the software. So that's really exciting as well. And I'll show you where you can find these two items real quick. So starting off with the client letters, when you are from your work in progress page here, you're going to go ahead and see that you don't see the extended button at the top here. So you do have to click select a return and then click extended. When you're in here, you'll then be able to build a report. And you can build, like I said, any report you would like, but you can also preload reports that we have available. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose a report real quick to get those basics going. And the new available search fields that we have are the ETD ACT code. So when you click add, that's going to ask, okay, what specific code do you want to run? If you want to see A for acknowledged, R for rejected, P pending, whatever that letter may indicate, you do need to know it. And that's where then if I click A and click OK and I run my report, it's going to just load the returns for that particular search field. So that's how you will manipulate the custom reports here. And again, the other item that we had was spouse, and that was a spouse home number. And you'll be able to add that right here within the tax return. So you'll be able to add that, and it can search for that specific phone number as well. So great things, great tools to utilize within the extended reports here. And then from that, we wanted to show the taxpass mobile site. So when you are updating your software and going through that, when you are at the latest update, you will be able to go to the help menu and then about software. And that it will display to you your taxpass URL. It will be displayed to you right here within the about menu, and then you'll be able to get that link and share it. You will also, a quick tip, we do have those reports available as well. So if you're an existing desktop user, go ahead and be able to, you can actually run some reports here that we have within our extended feature. And you can actually run taxpass invitation via email or text message, right? And you can click load and it's going to load those reports. And then you can go ahead and send a text message link right here at the top that says taxpass invite. And that will send your unique URL to your taxpayers. I definitely recommend doing this in your prior year software because that's where you have all your clients currently. So great things coming to and giving you that taxpass information within the software here. Going from here, we have the topic of new forms or updated forms. So what we have first are some updated items on the form 709. And it's been enhanced to have the three parts and basically saying if a spouse needs to consent on gifts to a third party. So when I go ahead and show that form, you're going to see that there's a checkbox saying the spouse consents to the gifts being given. And then we have the 2441. This is a great verification update to the form. It's going to basically look and read part one, the amount spent in daycare, matches part two. So if there's a mix match, it's going to come up within verification to say, hey, we have two different values. Let's go ahead and check that. So great verification warning coming up with the 2441. And then the K1s, right? So these forms have been updated to carry over the taxpayer's address. So very simple, but very important things as preparers to make sure your data flow is very seamless in carrying over to everything. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. So we're going to go ahead and go into a return here. And first going to highlight the form 709 and just note that as I mentioned, the spouse has to consent. to given gifts. So that's going to be line 7 in part 3. And you can see the text here. You must match a notice of consent. And you have to say yes or no that they consented or not. So that's available for you as well right there. Then we have Form 2441, the dependent care information. So you can see in part 1 here, I went ahead and I put 4,000. In part 2, I put 8,000. And when I go ahead and click verify, you're going to see that we have the Form 2441 that's telling me that my childcare expenses does not match. So right here, calling to action in that verify, hey, let's go take a look at this form. So that's a new verification for you there. And then in the K1s, it'll populate the taxpayer's address. So very simple with that. Some new forms that we have available to our business feature here are going to be the business utilities. So now going into the branch of our business product overall, the features that are available this season is a new status sync function that has been added under the business utilities. Running the status sync would basically synchronize the tax return to be at the latest status of our central site. And central site is basically the communication system of us to the IRS. So that's always going to provide you your latest status. So it's a great way that you guys can be able to trigger that. And then we also have, of course, new client letters. So those business client letters will include the federal and state amended acknowledgement now. So those are going to be available, again, English and in Spanish. And then lastly, extended reports, right? On a corporate side, you still have your full range of reports and being able to extend them. But this year, we have now made it easier that you can run information off of the account number and a routing number for any offices. So great information there. And I'll quickly show what these items can look like. So let's go ahead and tab into that. And if I go ahead to access the business package, we're going to see the business tab at the left here. So we'll hit business returns. Give me one. I apologize about that. Looks like this software may have closed on me. So let me go ahead and bring that open. And what I do want to showcase here is that you're going to be able to see also a new client organizer. So the client organizer historically has been in certain corporate entities, and we will actually be able to have them in all corporate entities now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on business returns. And then we will go, we'll go ahead and bring that up in a moment. Here we go. And then when we go into a return, and I'll go on my one return, we'll see that we had within the print menu, we have the client organizer. So now that's available, and that's normally something you print and can give off before you file the return. We know there's a lot of extensions with corporate returns. So within the organizer, you can go ahead and you can see that we've just enhanced it to include a bit more information that you may want to gather from your taxpayer, but specific to the entity you may be working in. So go ahead and take a look at the client organizers here, a lot of detailed information for how you want to, of course, communicate with your taxpayer and what they would need to give you. So good information for you there. And then we were going over the client letters as well, and that will be in a setup, client letters, right? And the new client letters that we had were for the state extensions. So that again is found for you right here, but on the business side. So we want to make sure we're always choosing that business tab. And then I mentioned the new report features. And again, always clicking on extended to go ahead and highlight the extended fields that we were able to now run based off of your corporate returns. So that's quickly the new enhancements for the business package. And now I will go over some new updated forms. So we have the 1120H that was newly updated to allow for the HOAs to now be able to file to e-file. So that's a new e-file form. Client organizer, which I had mentioned that this is now available in all business entities. And we have now expanded our offering to show all of the 47 states that are available. So we've been able to e-file in majority of all the states, but some corporation entities, mainly the 1041, has some limited states. So this is the newly added states for the 1041 specifically, and some updates like Michigan. Now we're able to e-file the Detroit city forms. So we always know, we always get the questions, hey, can we e-file these city forms or these state forms? And if you're ever wondering about the complete list about the what's available in our software, I want to go ahead and showcase right now what's on my screen is our manual. So go ahead and open up, when you install Desktop, the Xlink 25 folder. It has the manual here, and that will give you a nice overview of everything within the software. And if you scroll all down to the bottom of the appendix, you are going to see what we actually have available in all of our state offerings. So if I keep going down just a bit further, you're going to see the table here that will go ahead and show the state offerings one by one. So you can go ahead and see, just give me one moment, let me get there. It will quickly just show, again, all the states offered as you go through them. Appendix 2, I went a little bit too far. It's Appendix 2, and here we go. So you'll see that we have all of our states with e-filing on the corporation side. This is that table specifically. And we now added a bunch for the 1041. So that's the new enhancement, but we were always able to e-file the states for other entities. So go ahead. This is a good printout. If you ever get the question, good for your preparers to have as well when they're working with any of your clients, for them to have this information. And again, the manual and other resources are all found within that Xlink 25 folder. So moving on, we have exciting stuff with our online software. So our online software has mainly been for the individual tax returns for the last few years. And this year is really exciting because we're now going to be offering our business software on the online platform. So it is going to have the same principles as our desktop. So everything I was showing is available in the online. It works the same exact way. And if you are an online user that came from desktop, you can attest that the way you do a tax return is pretty similar to how we do tax returns in a desktop. And we're going to offer all the same packages. So you'll have the 1120, the 1120S, the 1065, the 990, and the 1041. So very complete offering there with our online business package. And if that's something you're interested, please reach out to your sales rep and we can get you started with that. Moving on from the online business, we have new integrations with CrossLink, and one of them being Zapier. So Zapier is a cut where customers are provided the flexibility to integrate tax return data into their choice of different types of software or tools available to you, such as Taxodome, right? That's specific to our industry, your email provider. So what you're basically able to do is extend a real-time workflow from CrossLink into these other softwares or tool management systems. And you do need to sign up for Zapier. There's no additional cost to use Zapier from CrossLink, but you do need to sign up with Zapier. So to use this integration, it's fully available to everybody out there. And how it works specifically is you're basically running, like I said, you're taking a status from CrossLink and you're flowing that status to do an action. So you're going to go ahead and be able to build triggers available from CrossLink. And this year we just have a limited version of triggers. And those triggers will be payment processed. So when you process a payment on the tax return and you record a payment's been processed, taken down cash, check, credit card, whatever it may be, you can go ahead and send that process. Maybe you want that to be an automated email. And you can say, okay, I could run a trigger off of that and now link it to my Gmail. And it's going to email the taxpayer, your process has been payment. Thank you. So great automation tools to be right in front of your customers right away. Another one could be the remote signature requested, return filed, right? So that's a great one if you're using TaxDome or another CRM possibly that you want to keep that statuses going of your tax return for your taxpayers. Or again, you just want to simply send them an email and say your tax return has been filed. You can have that automated by using Zapier with CrossLink. And then the last one here, we have return printed and return saved. So these are the triggers available that you can run different actions off of from CrossLink. And how we get started with this is, one, you do need to sign up for Zapier. That's the first step. And then you do want to reach out to your sales team member, and we'll go ahead and be able to send that invitation to be able to link it with CrossLink. So go ahead, if you just pause right there if you didn't want to write down that URL and get started with Zapier. And as mentioned, there are hundreds of platforms available throughout Zapier. Teams, TaxDome, Ignition, Microsoft, like I said, Teams, Slack, emails, anything that you may think of or maybe already using, you can see now you can integrate that with CrossLink with this use case. Another integration that we have available is Tax Vision Assist. And this here is built simply to help with automation of data. So with Tax Vision Assist, you would now be able to enhance and maybe provide more efficiency with importing your taxpayer's identification and income versus limiting the time amount that you have to actually key in those fields. So what you're going to see is on your client data screen, and for this I'm going to provide a full demonstration for within the software. So let me go ahead and bring that up here. So let's go to a return here on the individual side. So this is on our individual side on the 1040 side. And I'm going to go ahead and go into my return. And you're going to note here on the client data screen, there's this new button called the Vision Assist ID. So when you click on this button, it's going to ask if you would like to upload an image. So with that, you can go ahead and see that you can choose the file name. So here you hit File, and then you're going to choose the image. And Tax Vision Assist works with image formats, meaning PNG, JPEG. Those are the two main file formats. There are other picture images, but just stick with those two. And I'll go ahead and choose a driver's license and click Open. You could provide a description, so I could say taxpayer ID, and then click OK. And then that's going to go ahead and go through with populating information here. And you can see that it pulled in the last name, pulled in the address information, the driver's license info here. And I did a very basic fake ID off of Google. So so with that, I can go ahead and just fill this in. But it's really nice. You can go ahead and use that for the taxpayer or for the spouse on the client data screen, and you can do that there. Or if you would like to, you can also do the W-2. So right now it's for the driver's license or W-2. So let me put in a filing status here. Go to my 1040. That's where you're going to access it for the W-2 button. And then I'll go ahead and see Vision Assist W-2. Again, same thing. You need to have the taxpayer's documents on the computer. click the three dots. I'll click my W-2 image and click OK. Now that's going to go ahead. It's going to fill out the W-2 and it's going to populate the W-2. So once we give it that moment, and the W-2 technology is pretty smart. So if you add in a W-2 that doesn't match the taxpayer's social, it will red flag that and say, no, you can't do this. So it is reading that technology to help verify you're actually uploading the correct W-2 for the taxpayer. So you can see right here, it populated the main fields of that W-2. And for those out there that may be saying, hey, this might be a little too trusting with technology, no worries there. We truly understand that. So we also going to bring these verification systems through Verify, right? So we're going to say, hey, make sure you do take a look at this. See, it says review scanned data. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to double click on that. And we're going to say, okay, we reviewed it, click Verify, and it's going to bring you through those items there. So we are taking precautions with that. But yeah, that's the Tax Vision Assist. Very user-friendly, very easy. Upload your taxpayer's driver's license and W-2, and it will populate the information for you. We do hope to be expanding this offerings to different forms. I know that's probably going to be a question later on, so no worries. We are working on expansion, but for right now, it is the driver's license and a W-2 on for the client data screen or the 1040. And this feature is also available in our online software. So for those on the online software, you do see it there. It is available. But right now, it's not fully turned on. I'll just say that. It's not fully turned on. You see the button though. So I just like to put that disclaimer. We've gotten a lot of questions the last few days about it. Hey, I see it. It's not, opening. It's just because we haven't released it yet. So, but it will be fully available on both softwares, desktop and online. And with that, just to cover the steps again, you're going to want to capture your taxpayer's documents and make sure they're saved locally on your computer. Then you're going to click the Vision Assist button. You're going to upload your taxpayer's document, select the document, and then it will populate the information. And again, it's only PNG, JPEG picture formatting, not a PDF. That's a big question. No PDFs right now, just those picture formats. And with that, brings us to our last topic for today's webinar, is going over the digital marketing kit within CrossLink. So really exciting stuff here that our marketing team spent a lot of time hearing, customers really wanting a marketing kit to be able to promote their business. So we have a lot of information now for you, and this is found within your tax portal. So when you go to your tax portal and you log in, you're going to go to the support tab and then the digital marketing kit. And you're going to see a few different topics that we have there. And those topics include social media templates, 365-day content planner, which you're seeing a topic of right here for January. That's a topic for every day of the year for you to be able to post on social media. That's great work right there that you can have, and we're providing the idea to you. So this way you know how to fill that out. You have email templates, a flyer template. So all that information, and it could be customized to your business. So I'll go ahead and I'll bring that up quickly. So what that's going to look like is when we go to your tax portal here, we're going to go ahead and log into the tax portal. And then you're going to access support and then digital marketing kits right there highlighted. It says new. And now you see the different options I was just covering, these different templates. So when you do click on a template, for instance, the pre-tax season flyer, everything is going to open up in the brand of Canva. So that is where the files do live in Canva. And it's nice because you're supposed to edit these documents, right? So these are generic templates everybody has access to within CrossLink. So you definitely want to click use template for new design. And now you're able to edit your business name, maybe put your logo on there, put your information, your social media handles, your coloring. So you're able to fully edit this all within Canva. And if you need assistance with that, if you're new to Canva, we do have a video tutorial, a digital marketing kit introduction video here. So go ahead, take a look, take advantage of this marketing kit that was put together by our marketing team. And this is ways to help you grow and reach your business. So new and exciting stuff here this season. And with that, that will conclude today's webinar on the new and exciting enhancements features that we have with CrossLink today.